This is it for Steve, currently in third position, and his last chance to improve his placing. As you can see, the takeoff roll and climb out are excellent, and it would appear from the applause that the crowd are with him as well. The rest of his flight is smooth and undramatic, exactly what the judges want to see. Just the landing to go, and Steve can relax and watch the others sweat. We asked Steve how he felt now that it was all over.
We're a lot more relieved. Win or lose, bags of booze, we're going to the bar. Thank you. We're here for the first World Jet Masters, competing in the first Jet Masters. Our first flight went well. I got my nervous flight out of the way. The shakes are over, so I'll settle down. And we're happy everything's going fine here. Now, about this particular model, this is a Lockheed P-80. These were designed back in the early 40s. This one is from a squadron that they made 25 of these particular planes for testing conditions, operations in the Arctic. That's why the color, the wingtips are red, the tail is red. This is so if they went down in the snow that they would be easy to find. This has a defroster tube in it. Like I say, this jet engines were brand new, and they were just testing this for research and development in the 40s. Now this particular model is built from a Bob Violet kit. I've added a lot of detail to it. The finish is Coverite Presto. I've done a couple articles in a magazine about it, and it's achieved by cutting little pieces of Coverite Presto, which is a plastic film that has an adhesive on it, and you just put it on, and it's very time-consuming. It's not hard, but it's time-consuming. I have about 200 hours in just the silver part of this airplane. I've got 500 in the airplane after primer, but 200 in the silver part. So it's not hard to do, but it takes a lot of time. So if you're going to start it, know that it's going to take time. The plane flies extremely well. It's powered by a BVM-91, a BVM fan. I'm a BVM rep, so hence all the BVM equipment, but I also like it too, or otherwise I wouldn't use it or be a rep. But other than that, I use jeweler screws out here to simulate rivets. There's just hours and hours of detail. This is not, when you've got a plane with this much work in it, it's very nerve-wracking to fly it. I have another one just like it that's very plain but looks the same, and it's about 500 hours less work, and it's more fun to fly because you're not so nervous. But it's still very satisfying to do something like this. This particular plane at Top Gun 95 in the U.S. won team scale with myself as the builder and Bob Violet as the pilot. Start!
As the final day of competition got underway, Garland Hamilton put in an excellent flight with solid, smooth maneuvers, a good tank drop, and excellent figures. Although his landing was just off the runway, it was apparent that he'd still scored well and was going to be hard to push out of his top placing. There are some people who just look 100% American, and Jerry Caudle is one of them. Watch out for him later in the program when we interviewed him about his model, the BBM P-80D shooting star. Jerry's been flying jets for 7 years, and now flies almost exclusively for Bob Violet models in the USA. He has the added advantage of being the contest director for the Superman Jet Rally in the United States, so maybe he knows better than most exactly what the judges are looking for. At the end of the competition, Jerry walked away with a trophy for the best static model, an accolade that he richly deserved. His model was almost faultless, and his flying smooth and precise. A slightly rough landing reduced his score for the landing maneuver, but otherwise, Jerry scored well for his performance. Garland Hamilton from the United States was one of the men to watch throughout this competition. Garland's a US Marine, and he's been modeling for over 15 years, and he brought all of that massive experience to bear during his flights. The model he was flying was a Bob Violet model's F-80C shooting star, powered by a full house of BVM engine, pipe and fan units, along with retractable undercarriage and brakes. Garland was one of the pilots who performed an optional maneuver. In his case, a diving release of 2 underwing bombs. Most of the pilots who elected to make one of the maneuvers scored well, and definitely had an edge over those who performed a straightforward flight schedule. This model looked and flew superbly, with Garland showing off the added extras, such as speed brakes, landing lights, and scale-retracting gear doors. The F-80 is the single-seat predecessor to the better-known 2-seat T-33, and was the first jet-powered fighter to become operational with the US Army Air Forces. The predictable and forgiving performance of the full size lends itself well to a model-sized aircraft. And you can see how steady the model was in Garland's warm and capable hands.